please welcome Encik Billy James, anak JENANG, who will be sharing on his paper on observation project, one project, different focus. Please welcome.
Hello. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So I try to share my PBL actually. So I will try to share as simple as I can and as clear as I could. Okay, so just a simple sharing of what I did. It already started it has been for 4 years. Okay, so let us start by looking at the title is One Project, Different Focus. The main project name, the main name of the project is Observation Project. So one project means that I keep repeating the same process, just that the issues that happen is differently. Okay, one year different issue, the next year also a different issue. Everything started with me, 2020 during the pandemic. I was so tired. Why? Marking those long essays, using using our laptop and then tab and even print it out just to mark it. I need to give them essay. I need to give them chance to keep on writing because they are facing the SPM. Then, because of that, this particular project happened. It happened by accident, just to make my life easier. But then later, 2021, I look back at this project because I encountered this issue. New format of CAFR. It's the first year and we don't know what to do. But what should I do to keep the student writing? Then I found out we have email. Email is very short. Then I also find the student cannot elaborate the points. So I started by going for the elaboration. And last but not least, one of the very important things that we have in the new format is the cohesive device. Because my students have problem with this one. Another year, 2022, another issue, several issues came out, which are organization, grammar, and vocabulary building. My student cannot score on these parts, so I need to come up with something. Then the observation project comes in. And later, this year, it happened that my students don't like to write. They don't love writing. They find writing is very troublesome. So I need to nurture the writing habit first. And then I found out that this project can be developed more. By doing what? Speaking. The main focus was on writing. But later, now this year, it goes to speaking. And then last but not least, their organization. In speaking, they're not able to elaborate and organize their idea. Also, for their writing as well. They are not able to organize their idea very well. So, my intervention is the observation project. It is a very simple one, in which, if you look at, we start by doing observation, right? And then, what should they observe? Plants. They did request to observe animals. Or others said, no, this one will cost you a lot of money. So to save some money, we do plants. Then, how long is it? 12 weeks. Maximum, plus minus, it can go to 14 weeks. It depends on how you plan everything after that. And then they need to do report. There will be 3 reports. The newest one, we have 3 reports, in which we have weekly report. The second one, we have full report. And the last one is video report. Okay? And the last but not least is their presentation. Okay, let's move on. So actually, to carry out this thing, when you do a project, you must have the steps so that you know where are they now, what they are doing now, what are their problems in every stage. So the first one is delivery of the task. So they have weekly tasks in which, and then the focus, okay, we go for this one first. The 5 states. Okay, so this is the latest one. 2023, the project evolved by insert in video report and then later the presentation. So the current group now is at stage number 4, video report. The one that I did for the showcase now, the video is just sent to me 31st August. So it's very fresh and new. I haven't evaluated the video yet. So I just showcased to you guys the real outcome produced by the students. Okay, for the first one, delivery of the task. So every week they have tasks they need to do. So they will have every step, they will have their own checklist. They will follow the checklist given. For number 1, the plan chosen using the checklist, for example, the source, the durations, and then is it measurable? So by doing this, they need to do some sort of research. So the first thing first, when we do this, whether the student able to extract information and use that particular information. What do we assess? Reading. So by taking out the main points, and then later they are able to explain, then it is another one, speaking. Okay? And then we are going for the 12-week report. So they need to produce 1 short paragraph. They need to tell us what the activities they did on that week, and then 1 short paragraph. So this one is very applicable for email, in which we just a short communicative message. So they based on the input given, then how they can make it into 1 short paragraph. And then we have storytelling and whole class feedback. Storytelling here is that they will be given 60 seconds in class, choose randomly 1 or 2 of them to come to the front just to share what they did during the last weekend. And why 60 seconds? Remember our CAFR speaking, 1 candidate deserves 60 seconds to deliver their speech or deliver their points. And then the full report. The full report, they will have 1 full checklist in which they have 7 things they need to write, starting with the introduction, and then the acknowledgement first, and the introduction, and then the table of content in which they will list out the weeks that have what they have done. So what are the activities, what are the dates? So those particular dates will help them in step number 4, the full report of the process. And number 5 is that they will do a simple lesson learned. So let them do a reflection, what they have done. And then the 5th one is the conclusion. Okay, the 6th is the conclusion. 7 is appendix, in which every week they need to take picture of what they did during that particular week. For example, they measure the plant, what they observe, the color of the plant, they take picture and send it during their weekly report. And then for this one, it's very important. We cannot just leave them just like that. So you need to have 1 session, peer coaching, in which you pair them up, sit them together. During this time, normally it's during our assembly time, because we always cancel our assembly due to unexpected reasons. So I will take opportunity to do this. Then they sit together. Then you look and observe whether they are able to help each other. By looking at what? They are looking at the checklist. But they will check each other, and then you need to observe overall whether is there any common issues. For example, the use of past tense, regular and irregular. If you see that one as a major issue, so what I did is frequency count, which I learned in school support plan, organized by ELTC. So I'm still practicing it until now. So when I see the frequency is very high, then it is my turn in class, during the revision especially, will focus on this issue. Then I will help them to ease, ataupun at least guide them. Bahasa Melayu dah keluar. So help them a little bit just to make their life easier. Because I told them that not to focus 100% on grammar, but we try to improve the grammar. Because if we keep on critiquing on their grammar, they will not build the confidence. Everything starts with confidence. So when we keep on saying that your grammar is wrong, or your grammar is wrong, then they will lose their motivation just to continue. All right? So that's the one that we have weekly consultation. and peer coaching. And then now is video report. This is the recent one. So basically every year, this particular project evolves. From simple checklist, I do a guide beside the checklist. Now, this one, we go to video report. Another checklist came out, and then what they need to do, they need to produce video within 10 to 15 minutes. I believe that students need their own time, their own pace, and their own space, just to build the confidence. Because sometimes, you know our students, right? They tend to mimic ataupun make fun of their students, their own friends, when they do a lot of mistakes in grammar, mispronouncing. So by giving them the video report in group, they have their own time and space just to practice their speaking. And interestingly, all these particular step 1 until 5 mostly happen outside of the school. It's not in school. So you create another environment at home, outside of the school, for them to practice using English. Okay? So how do I assess? It's very easy. I will look at the CFR rubric. I do not focus on level band number 5 and band score 6, in which that one will initiate discussion. You need to see whether they can convey the message, sustain the information, the conversation during the video. So we need to look at that only. And then the checklist is very important. This is the basic guide for them to do. You say, we don't write, you need to talk about. You may consider to talk about this. So you give them option, because you may consider offer more opportunity for them to think. But if you say you must talk about this, they are very limiting. Okay, so from there you can go back to your PBD, that you see which level our students are in. Is it 2.1.1, 2.1.2? So you can already tick your PBD, which level of your student. And then the future, I think this particular September, this group will do a very simple gallery walk, in which they have their tablet provided by our one NGO in our area. So we are allowed to use tab. So they will present their video, and then they will walk around. Interestingly, I use star. Why star? Because star is less intimidating than marks. If you say your mark is 17, your mark is 18, so they will compare. Why I get 18? Why I get 19? So it's better for you to give them a range. For example, 17 to 20, score 5 star. So you give them range. So it's less intimidating for them. And they're they will not compare much towards each other. Because, oh, I get 4 star. You also get 4 star. But the marks, you know, because they will score differently. But you don't expose the marks too much. Because the aim for this particular project is to boost their confidence in 2 parts. One is speaking, one is in writing. All right? And then the presentation, this is very interesting, in which they give feedback. One of the ways to give feedback is the exit ticket we always do. Or perhaps after this, I will try to do a simple Google form just to ask them to write a short essay on, or something rating on what they feel. So this one I haven't planned out very well, because my student only read video report. Only draft now I have for this particular, how am I going to assess them? But overall, when you did all these things, you are assessing them day in, day out. In fact, outside of the school setting, okay? And if you have the contact from your parents, their parents, you may ask their parents, or you meet somewhere, like my town is very small, so we go outside, we meet each other, then the parents will give you the immediate feedback. So you can take the feedback and develop something more to help your student. Okay, so you can see here are the things that I said just now. So for among the 12-week activities, so this is what they did. The pictures, you say, they even involve their brother, their sister, their parents. So it means that the whole family are giving the support. So indirectly, we help them to strengthen their bone, you know. And then, because it's an observation project, you need to teach them, because most of my students are science classes, how to do a proper report, in which is cross-curriculum for their physics, bio, and also chemistry. So they need to measure it properly and what they observe, what they did with the plant. So indirectly, you are teaching them how to do a proper observation for their experiment report. And then you see there your Telegram post. So this is how they submit their weekly report. Besides that, you see the weekly report. So they would just do simple like that. Why they need to do simple like that? Because they need this particular information later for them to write their full report. So this one is cost effective. They don't need to spend a lot of money. Just send in and then you check. And then you look at the pattern. Is there anything new emerging? Or is it the past tense still problem? So what are the supplements that you can give? After all the project later done, any other supplement to help them to score better. And then you see the lady in Tudong and also down there, the friends are looking. Those two pictures share, in which they do the 60-second sharing, in which they share their experience the past weekend, what were the activities that they done together. It's either with their parents or they did it by themselves, and what the progress of their plans. And below one, you see the final report. So there's the final report. And interestingly enough, we also involve the parents. So we need the parents to do two things. Number one, to look at the report. And perhaps I also asked several of them via text, what do you think of your daughter or son report? So you get the feedback from parents. All right? So this is the result, starting from 2020 until 2022. 2023, not yet. So if you see here, 2020, I have 5 STEM. STEM is science. And then 5 lead is literature. 2025 STEM, there are 20 of them, 22 of them. So 14 of them scored A, A+, and A-. So I round it out. So there are 14 of them. 2021, 5 STEM, there are 19 of them. Surprisingly enough, during that time, 11 of them got A. And in 2022, the literature class, only 8. But I was so happy because you look at B and B+, 20 of them. Imagine if those people get A, there will be 28. So this is the graph, what's happening on the A. 2020, before the project happened, only 3 of them score A. A+, A-, and A solid. And then 9 of them after the intervention, SPM 14. The green, the orange one, 2020-21, 2 of them, and then later after the intervention, 7, and during the SPM, 11 out of 19. And in 2022, 1 got A before the intervention. After that, 3, and then we have 8. Okay? So this is 2023, not yet. But 2023, I started early. Instead of Form 5, I start with Form 4 because I see the need for them to start early is there. So that's why they're still on the way to finish all the 5 steps. So for the conclusion, so basically this is a concept that you can apply. If you don't want to observe plants, you may change. If you want to amend anything from this particular project, you may. This project is not perfect. It is every year improving towards better one. So there's no right and wrong what you are doing. Because remember in CFR, there are 2. You know your student. And second one, you look for what your student can do. Don't look for what the student cannot do. You may, but if you want to look for what the student cannot do, is to propel them for higher level. So you need another supplement to help them to do that. So there are 2. Number 1, what the student can do, and you as a teacher know what is best for your student. And this one best for my student because it works so far. Okay? So if you look at the conclusion, basically this one is very easy to conduct. Every year I do the same thing. And we as teacher, this is very important. We want to ease some burden and to provide other opportunity for them to practice. And then, building confidence. This project is mainly to do that, to build confidence. For speaking, let them do all the grammar mistakes. Remember, everything starts with the confidence. When they have the confidence, then you slowly help them in terms of the grammar. And next one, it focuses on the pupil's development, in which when you take every element of the 4 skills, you will see, oh, now the student is at this part. Perhaps on the next step, the step number 3, improve to a higher level that you can take. So it is ongoing assessment, and you can see the development of the students. And then, it is authentic product. You will see everything. You are not producing anything, but your student did all the work. Your role as a teacher, for me especially, to guide. Okay? And then, last but not least, road to better results. So this is whatever it is, CFR is focusing on what the student can do, but in the end, we still have SPM. Our authority, our principal, our PPD and JPN and whatnot, they still want to see results. So why not we kill 2 birds in 1 stone? One is for the CFR, one is for the results. Okay, so thank you, that's all. Good. Any question?
Thank you so much. Now he's taking the floor. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Billy James, for that informative presentation. It's now time for Q&A. We have 5 minutes for this session.